girls to breaking on a budget. I guess I should say welcome back to Brick and a Budget. Audio software didn't record the first part, and I'm too lazy to restart it. So, yeah, breaking on a budget. It's for those who aren't familiar with. It's like the third time I'm restarting this boy. So, for those who aren't aware of what breaking a budget is, it is a series where I take a deck or I try to do like a popular deck, but I'm not trying to do adventure decks because I feel like they're dumb, in my opinion. So after scouring the interwebs, I have found NurseBurn, but we'll get with that in a minute. So, Breaking on a Budget is a series where I basically take a three or rogue deck or higher, depends, and what I'm interested in, and try to make it more budget friendly and try not to butcher the deck as much as possible. But some cards are needed, so sometimes prices may vary, but I try to get it around 300 UR shards maximum. For that includes the main deck and extra decks, so sometimes I do have to gut out stuff like Ash Blossoms and Call Buys just to make sure I can fit in the main cards that are needed for the deck. So, but in this deck doesn't really need those types of cards. But I figured, why not try to keep it as low as possible? Just because, I do set a limit of 300 CP. But I'm pretty happy of how much I spent on this account. So, anyways, yeah, I don't write scripts, as you guys know. So let's just get into the deck breakdown portion that's quick and easy. Or somewhat quick. Okay. So, I wanted to actually redo this portion of the video because I feel like the last time I did this I was a little bit too fast in speaking and stuff. So, I'll go through everything again as being quick, but not like, being too quick where I sound like I'm speaking too fast where I can't be understood. So before I go on with this deck, I, did a little bit of research into this deck. I watched some YouTube videos, read some guides online, did a little testing in other Yu-Gi-Oh sites and games and all that stuff just before I invested the time into this. And I feel like for 180 UR, this deck's pretty good. Of course, post recording it right currently, I am 8-0 with this deck, going from bronze to low silver. Close calls, but honestly, I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player. I can't read, so Anyways, the first card is Lilith, Lady of Lament. This card is basically another Trap Tricks, but but the pro to it is that you have to tribute a dark monster, which you would tribute Lilith, and you would be able to get a trap card that you would need to use. And you can use other trap cards, just you can't activate it the turn it's set, sadly. I run two of these in the upgraded form of the deck, which I'll talk about later. I typically run 3. But oops. I did not mean to do that. Next is Dark Lord Nurse. The bread and butter of this deck. It just allows you, the opponent, to take life point damage instead of being healed for it. Pretty self-explanatory here. Next is one copy of Dark Lord Elch. I think that's how you say it. You can basically use this card's effect if you draw into a lot of your, what's it called? The banishment of the Dark Lord. And it just is a draw 2. Simple. Next is the Upstart Goblin. Draw 1, they lose 1,000 life points, so it's a win-win. Next is one card of Demise. It's just more draw power, and because most of your cards are trap cards, I would say a good chunk of the time you can just play them all and not worry about the side effect of card demise. Pot of Duality. Pot of Duality, Pot of Prosperity. I don't think I had to go over these cards at all. No, for obvious reasons. Banishment, the Dark Lord, is here to work with the Dark Lord Ilch and the Dark Lord Nurse. Next, I think, is the trap cards. The Ring of Destruction. It's Ring of Destruction. It's just a good way of nuking their attack points as well as yours, but your goal is to make them run out before you. So be careful with Ring of Destruction. Next, Massive Cylinder, obviously one of the OG burn cards for a reason. Though most decks I've been running across so far have been a lot of targeting cards that can't be targeted. So I'm glad I only run a few target traps. That's why I started to look up a bunch of non-targetable trap cards to kind of help out a bit with that. Next up is Secret Barrel. 200 damage. It's kind of sucks, but when they have a good board and good hand, it deals about 1,200 plus damage easily. Next up is one of my favorite cards in this deck, the Path of Destiny. Basically, with Dark Lord Nurse or Bad Reaction or Samoich, they're taking 2,000 points of damage guaranteed. Same thing with the gift card. Just they take 3,000 damage guaranteed. Try and guess. It's hard for me to explain this card, but I'll explain it the best way I can. Basically, as long as you know, if they have more extra deck cards than you, so for let's say they have more XYZ Synchros or Fusions than you, then they lose 3,000. And that's why we run all links. Because, and even if they have more links, like running a complete link side deck, which is very, very rare, you'll just gain 3,000 life points for yourself, and then you'll know, hey, you can use this card for some life point advantage if you want to use your Ring of Destructions or your Paths of Destinies, because you still take 2,000 to yourself if you screw up the coin flip. So rare cases like that, you'll be fine. Blazing the Air Force, it's just a good card to nuke their board and to deal damage to them and to them. Sadly, you do take damage to yourself, but I call it a nuking card for a reason, because this is one of the cards I use to nuke the rest of their life points away. Trap Chicks. It's kind of like Lilith of Lament, but you do discard one of your trap cards that you picked, but you can play it that turn, but you do have the disadvantage of only playing one trap card for the rest of your turn. So be careful, because I got trap blocked, and luckily my opponent forfeited, but I was scared because I can't read as a Yugioh player. Next up we have the Bad Reaction of Samoich. It's basically a trap version of the Nurse. And I guess the extra deck is we just have a bunch of, just link cards. As I literally just hit random. I was just literally just spamming link normals. Just for this reason. Now, if I were to change up this deck at all, what I would do is I would, first of all, take both Ring of Destructions and one Samoich away to add in 2 Goblins and another Lady of Lament. Another thing you could do too is maybe taking away both Secret Barrels and maybe adding in 2 Crossburns. Maybe 3 Crossburns if you don't want to run a card of demise. I just have it here for just a way to draw cards. It's another way to draw cards, but maybe you don't need card demise at all if you run 3-ups or goblins. So you could also do. You could do when some you can delete to the ring of destructions and the card demise if you really wanted to. I haven't really drawn into card demise once, so maybe that's the better choice. In terms of other traps, maybe I'm just trying to think here. Maybe you could do because in my opinion, like Blazing Mirror Force, Passive and Destiny, like these cards right here, any trap card that's at 3 is a really good card, and I would not advise putting them to a 2. Except for bad reaction of some white. I just put it in here to kind of fill slots. You could do another trap tricks if you really wanted to. You could do maybe another Blazing Mirror Force. Or, you could take away the 2 secret barrels for 2 chain burns. Those secret barrels are a nice combination if you draw into them. Maybe 2 of them. You'll do like 2,400 damage if they have 6 cards in their hand. So, everything works out to personal preference. So anyways, before the gameplay of the portion of the video, I just wanted to, thank you everybody for watching the video. All that stuff. Comment below the next deck you want to see. Also, any constructive criticism you want to give me in any way, shape, or form, I'd really appreciate it. And have a good rest of the day and enjoy some of the crazy games I got. When I'll get rank. Okay. I'll go first. Okay. Oh, I popped an Ash. Okay. I'll say he has more XYZs. Let me chain fusion this more now. Or a bad reaction. Any Dragon Monsters. Nebula Dragon. Wait, is Blue Eyes a sorry, not Blue Eyes, is Red Eyes, no, Red Eyes is 7 stars, right? Okay, let's see what I draw here. I did Shop Chicks a which one gift card? I would use a gift card and try and guess. Activate Shop Tricks. I want chain. I'll pull out a. You know, let's do Path of Destiny. Easy. Another game, boys. Another game. Actually, I'll probably stop the video right there. Because that was the cleanest game. Stop recording. Bench 6 cards. Duel. Preferably would have liked to have a couple gift cards, but you know, it is what it is. What's the XYZ monster? Oh, thank God he has some. So he's running a Blue Eyes deck. I don't know what this leg is. Maybe it's like the server catching up or something. Can I just Blazing Mirror Force? I can't because it doesn't target. That's why you run Blazing Mirror Force and other cards that won't target. Because if I did Magic Cylinder, he would have negated it. Ooh. Well, I'll activate my quick effect anyways. Oh, a gift card. Pull my 3 gift cards out. I win. I can deal 6,000. I know he has a lot of fusions. Easy.